Chris Yandex, CYInterview, covering Las Vegas and the world. Today we welcome back CYInterview sponsor, the founder of Epic Financial Strategies LLC, Mr. Rob Gill. Rob, thanks for joining us in CYInterview. How are you, sir?
I'm doing phenomenal. Thank you for asking. Blessed to be here, and thank you for sharing this opportunity.
Oh, absolutely, Rob, of course. And of course, also joining us today is the CEO of Scott's Protein Balls, Miss Lori Levine. Lori, thank you so much for joining us today to share your interesting and inspiring story. How are you today?
Hi, I'm very well. Thanks, Chris, and thanks, Rob, for having me on your amazing show.
We are so grateful to have you here. So, Rob, just to begin, how do you know Lori? What's the story, as always?
You know, the thing that's really elevated me over the last 8-9 years, specifically the last 5, is merging ecosystems. And this is where Sean Callaghy is so powerful. And merging ecosystems is not a B&I group. It's not collaborating. It's not, just meeting and greeting people. It's really being able to understand who has a community. Does their community align with your community? And if so, it's a free place to exchange ideas. And as a result of it, I was in Philly recently, and I had met Lori before that. But in the most recent meeting, I was there with David Meltzer, who is one of my coaches. Sean Callaghy was on the panel with me, and we were discussing money, time, freedom, how to overcome a bunch of different things, money mindset, scarcity around money, business acceleration, entrepreneurship. And afterwards, we spoke a little bit, and Lori connected with Alexa, of course. And, she had given out free samples, and I'll let her talk about what she has because it's powerful. And that's how we are here today. Her story is incredible, deserves to be heard, shared, admired, and that's why I'm on the panel today with you, Chris.
Thank you for that phenomenal introduction, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
That's amazing, totally. So, Lori, you absolutely turned a very challenging moment in your life into a very positive one. Tell me about how being diagnosed with breast cancer led to you starting this business.
Well, thank you both. It came out of nowhere, my diagnosis, and it's a debilitating phone call to hear, and it just, I grew up positive. I've always been a positive person. That's how I came out. But when you hear that and you get a diagnosis like that, it knocks you down no matter who you are. And so I had to cope with it. I had to, talk to my children and explain it all, but I rose to be who I was, and I went through surgery. I went through treatment. I live in Long Island in New York. I had to go back and forth for 2 months for radiation. But I look back on it now, and I remember just trying to be positive about it. Every day that I had to go into the city, I had a different friend or a different relative take me back and forth, and I got one-on-one time with them that I would never have gotten before. I planned fun things to do after the treatments. So I would literally be sitting, like getting radiation, saying to myself, I have to go. I'm walking the High Line today, or I'm seeing a show. And I just took it and I got through it as positively as I could. But when it was all over, I decided I needed to get into shape. I needed to get into the best shape I could, because when you go through something like that, you sort of realize how out of control you are in your life. And we all try to control things, and then I realized I really couldn't. But then I realized you can control things, right? You can control what you think, what you put in your mouth, how you feel, how you take care of yourself and your body. So I got into the best shape of my life. But my nutritionist said, no more protein bars. And I don't know about you guys, but most people I know, including me and Scott, always had them in our bag, in our backpack, because we're conditioned by marketing. It says it's a protein bar. It has to be healthy. So we don't read the back. So when she shut me down on those, and I also have a sweet tooth, I would come home and complain to Scott, I have nothing for grab and go. I'm finally getting back out. And he said, I'm going to create something for you. And that's kind of the origin of it all. And one more point is we're both accounting finance people. So no experience in the food industry, no entrepreneurial experience. But he just did it for me as a labor of love. And that's how it started.
Lori, so let me just ask you, tell us about the product and what the plant-based ingredients that are in your products are.
Absolutely. The product is, it's all natural and organic protein balls with chia seeds, flax seeds, organic, gluten-free oats, oat flour, cacao. We have right now we have 6 regular flavors. We're launching a fully organic line, and the main important thing is they taste good. And that was what Scott always wanted, them to taste good. And we started in our kitchen, and now we're in about 120 retail stores. We sell at JFK, Kennedy, LaGuardia New airports, and just opened up in Penn Station this week in New York, and Moynihan Station. And we started during COVID when everybody kind of moved home, and we realized we have a business. So, I think, like you said at the beginning, Chris, I think the message is, bad things are going to happen. They're going to happen to you. And what are you going to do with them? And, I wasn't going to say, poor me, why me? I was going to say, what can I do here? And so with breast cancer and during COVID, we launched the business. And so it's taking negatives and turning them into positives.
Rob, what are your thoughts on this 4-year trajectory? This seems like a very fast uphill success climb, no?
Yeah, I think 120 retail stores is amazing. Being birthed in COVID, I know that a lot of great companies are born in times of economic challenges, and this was emotional. I mean, they gave us money, but it was an emotional time. And coming off of your personal challenge, the ingredients in your product, was that some of the stuff that you actually, while you were overcoming your challenge, was that some of the stuff that you put in your system? Is that where the idea came from, or is that just a coincidence?
It's a funny question because it was actually the opposite.
Okay.
I went to, like I said, I had to be in Manhattan every day in a row for 8 weeks. And our parking garage was next door to an Insomnia Cookies. And I made the decision that every time I had a treatment, I was entitled to a cookie, which I think is a fair statement. But when the treatment was over and I got on the scale and I didn't feel well from the treatment and from what I was putting in my body, no, I wish I had a clean product like this, a quick grab and go that I could have eaten. And that's sort of like how this became inspired for other people to have on their journey. It would be a great thing to have. Our product is different. It doesn't have preservatives, so it's kept cold and clean. And
how did you come up with your inner team? Like, how did all this come together as far as the science side of it?
So Scott is, he just basically went online. He took a bunch of ingredients, threw them together, didn't really, just trying to create something that tasted good. And then I annoyed him and he went back and looked at the macros and the calories and the fat and just, we're still working on it. Like, we're always trying to improve it and make it cleaner and taste better. And then we have future plans too. I want to go into maybe making them with CBD and doing dog treats because
wow.
What we like to do is we meet a lot of allergens. Like, we're gluten-free, dairy-free, plant-based, very low or no sugar, soy-free, which is a big one for me. So it's really about making a healthy product that tastes good. Like, I eat 2 for dessert every night. I eat 2 for breakfast in the morning, but making you feel like you're having a brownie, while all the while feeling good about what you're eating.
Amazing. How many employees do you have, by the way?
We have 4 employees, and then we have a bunch of consultants also. We realized that it's an interesting model. At the beginning, we hired people to work full time, and we realized that we could get more out of this whole fractional model that's going on in our industry, in the CPG industry. If I hire, let's say, a chief operating officer or a head of sales who's also doing the same thing for other companies, it's a benefit to them, and it's a benefit to us because we get the collaborative efforts of different companies. Somebody could say, well, my other company's doing this for Mother's Day, a promotion. And so it's just a great way to network and get more information and help other people, also.
Yeah. Amazing. Chris, back to you, brother.
Lori, so the product, of course, again, is obviously Scott's protein balls. Let me just ask you, what are you doing to manage the production? I can't imagine, you start a couple people want to buy it, and then you get up to 120 stores. How did you adapt to that and know that, there was going to be a lot of demand there, and once that got there, how you were going to be able to fulfill it?
That's a great question. Scott calls us accidental entrepreneurs because we were never looking to have a business. I was recovering. Scott was commuting 3 days a week, 3 hours a day. So we just were making them in our kitchen. And then a bagel store in our town just said, you know what, I'll sell them here. And also you can use my kitchen in the back. Our bakers are gone by noon. So we went in there. We were all wearing masks. It was the height of COVID. And we started just getting into stores, little stores, one by one in our town.
I have a question though. Was the first store, did it sell fast? Did you say, wow, we're onto something here? Or
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
As
Yep.
a matter of fact, it was a bagel store, and I didn't even understand why people would buy protein bowls in a bagel store.
Yep.
But how wrong I was. It's the parent who picked their kid up from school, and the kid has sports and wants a bagel with cream cheese, but the parent doesn't want a bagel, can't eat a salad, picks up a bag of protein balls, eats two. They're in a resealable pack, throws them in the fridge, then the kid eats it later. So it really, that was the evolution. And people just started wanting us to sell them. And, when we first made them, our friends and family were leaving our house with gallon-sized bags. And we weren't starting a business until the opportunity, COVID became an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's, when we were able to do it. And the other thing I wanted to mention is it was my 5-year anniversary last year of being cancer-free. And it was huge monumental occasion for us, because that's a big accomplishment. But my goal was to give back, because that's been my nature my whole life. And a charity called BCRF, Breast Cancer Research Foundation, actually funded the research for tests that impacted my own journey. And so I formed a partnership with them last year, and we donate back a percentage of sales to them for research, because I think everyone we know is touched by breast cancer. And just to be able to give back and give money to research, it just rounds it all out for me. It connected myself to my mission.
Rob, this is the whole going in a circle, right? Moment.
Yeah, always. I love it. I love the story. The name of the product on the shelf, what does it actually say? Scott's Balls?
So good question. They were just called Scott's Balls, and we're actually incorporated as Scott's Balls LLC.
I'm just wondering if that marketing just gets people's attention right away. But God,
So it does. Yeah. It gets a lot of attention. But when my 9-year-old niece asked me, Aunt Lori, do you eat your husband's protein balls for breakfast every morning? We decided to add the word protein back.
Got it. Okay.
And make protein a lot bigger. So
yes.
That's it. And we kept the name because, quite honestly, it kind of stuck. And people, we have a lot of jokes. We lean in because you would have to with a name like that.
Yep.
But he created them for me, and that's his role. It's my company, but he does the recipes. He comes up with the flavors, and so we're always launching a seasonal flavor. But I need to get balls to you out, Chris, also, because you haven't tried them.
Yeah.
We will absolutely be interested in seeing what it's like, for sure.
You got to
Lori,
try. Chris.
Go ahead. Absolutely. What do you think? What do you think about them, Rob?
They're very good. They're very good. Yes, Alexa had them all here the other day, and we were everybody was eating the balls.
Thank you.
So here's my question, Lori, where do you see this in the next? I'm not even gonna say 5 years, like in the next 3 years. Like, what does it look like? I'm not gonna say if you could have it all go your way, because life doesn't happen that way. But if you could have it go your way on some level, what would that look like?
So we just got back from the big food show in California, and it was really amazing. We got to connect with some huge retailers.
Yep.
We have it all lined up now. So then to answer your earlier question too, Chris, now the balls are being made at a co-packer facility. They're not being shipped by us anymore.
Wow.
We got into KeHE, which is one of the largest natural food distributors. So we're really lined up now. Our supply chain's in a row. We just started a fundraise, and Scott and I looked at each other at the beginning of this year and said, we have something. People reorder, stores reorder. Let's go. So we launched the fundraise. We've gotten our first investors, and I really think that we have something. So I know we do. So to answer that question, what I've learned, which is quite interesting, is a lot of the big companies now, they used to have huge R&D teams, and now they would spend tons of money and develop their own products. But what they're doing now is they're going in and looking for companies like ours. Now we're early, but I have no doubt by the end of this year, middle of next year, towards the end, that we're going to be in an attractive place for one of these larger companies to say, you know what, we don't need to recreate the wheel. Here's a clean, healthy product that's selling. People are loving it. And I could see us, getting scooped up, maybe, hopefully within the next 2 to 3 years. So exactly on the timeline that you're asking about.
And if you don't mind me asking, Chris, hold on, if you don't mind, how much,
Sure.
and if you can't say it, that's okay, but how much have you raised so far?
We've raised $300,000 of
Is there a target?
we're doing a safe.
Okay.
$1.5 million safe, and we've gotten our first 2 investors, so we're very excited because from what we understand, those are the hardest to get.
So the investors, are they boots on the ground or just putting money in? Are they also bringing forth other opportunities, or is it just to bring money in?
So yeah, we bootstrapped it up until now,
Yep.
and then it's actually 3 investors, and they are angels. They're coming in on their own, and they're bringing with them their networks, their people, and their information. And that's really the only thing we're missing, because we've gotten the special sauce going on now, and now to bring in strategic partners, pivotal, maybe someone who's had a CPG, a successful exit, even someone who's not had a successful exit, but people who can bring us resources.
Have you tapped into influencers with big communities
Yeah.
that would advertise for you? Have you done that yet?
So that's part of exactly what we want to raise the money for. We have 2 businesses, right? We have our online D2C, and then we have our wholesale business, and they're both doing well. We haven't put any money into online marketing, and we've gotten influencers to post because they like the product and they'll post. But people, to get the real influencers, to get up to that higher. People with higher followings, and you have to pay to play. It's what it is. And so we're raising money for marketing, for to hire some more of the right people, and really to up our production. We can do as many runs as we want now. The beauty of our product is that it's frozen. We store it frozen, so it could be frozen for a year. I could do a production run tomorrow and always have enough inventory. So we really have everything in place where it can be very successful. And we met with some heavy hitter retailers at the show that we're following up with this week. We met with some really good investors potentially, and I think it's going to be a great investment. I know it is, and if you know anybody, we're happy to talk. We have a deck. We're ready to go, ready to rock and roll.
Yep. Back to you, Chris. The mighty Andak.
Thank you, Rob. The mighty Rob Gill on the other side here to my right. Lori, you're in an early stage company. A savvy group. I think would want to grab onto you and accelerate. But here's what I'm going to say, and this is the most interesting part, and I'm sure Rob is thinking about this as well as we're having this morning's discussion. You're at a point right now where you have a lot of options and a lot of decisions, but the decisions that you make now are going to be what impacts the company going forward and where it goes, and you have to make the right ones.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, I mean, that's why we're looking for a strategic partner. There's a lot of money out there, but to find someone to come in who's got experience that we don't have, that's what we want. That's what we need. And I think, that helps round out somebody's investment. And, the main thing is, it's funny, we have young kids working for us they came fresh out of college, and we like to promote an upbeat, positive environment. And we're looking to be working with just people who have the same philosophy as us, the same pay it forward. And that's a lot of what we found in the CPG industry. People are extremely willing to share information, help out. And I think that's part of what we like about this industry also.
And now this is the moment where we transition to Rob. What's the update on Surviving Success? I think Lori's story's on an uphill. I mean, they're just, the key is now to make the good choices, though, to keep going up. So tell me about Surviving Success. What's going on?
Yeah, so Surviving Success, thank you, Chris, is about as you achieve financial success and climb the mountain, there's new challenges. And if you, meaning me in the book, weren't able to overcome certain emotional things like, your relationship with money, even if money comes your way, there's a propensity to make more mistakes because there's a level of, and I'm speaking to myself, there's a level of, do I really deserve this success? And the book is about my journey and recovery and the steps along the way as I climbed the economic ladder and dealt with a lot of my emotional and wealth wounds. Question for you, Lori, is, overcoming cancer, 5-year big window. I mean, I know the 5 years is a big number. But is there other things that you have to overcome as you're climbing the success ladder here that are important for you to maintain that track?
Yeah, I mean, this is like, we've called this our third child, because it is a living, breathing thing. And I think you do have to as an entrepreneur, as a new entrepreneur, I think you have to figure out boundaries in your life where you don't have to work 24 hours a day, because when it's your own thing, you really do that. And also just to stay true to who you are at the core, like Chris, like you were just alluding to. It's our baby. So bringing in other people, they need to align with us, with our mission, with our goals, and see the vision as what it is, and really help us grow.
Absolutely. And so, Lori, what have you heard about Rob's book that's coming out soon?
I am very excited. I've been at a couple of meetups with Rob, and I actually think that the title and the story behind it is it's so brilliant. It really is, because everybody wants what they want. You think you're going to win the lottery tomorrow, and all your problems are going to be solved. But Rob's right, and it brings about its own set of challenges, becoming successful and becoming economically successful.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
And when is it coming out, Rob? Any update yet?
Yeah, listen, I have a live webinar that I'm doing on April 4th. We'd like to be able to do orders at that point. I do got to fine tune a couple of pages here and there, so working real hard to get to that point. But it's coming fast.
We're looking forward to it,
Can't
Rob.
wait.
We can't wait. Lori, let me just ask you, now that you're in this business area, what do you think makes a successful snack, in your opinion?
I think it needs to be balanced. It needs to have a little protein. It needs to have a little fiber. And a lot of our flavors have nuts. And I think the nuts bring the healthy fat. We also have nut-free flavors for those people who can't have nuts. But I think it's a balanced snack, and I'm a balanced person. I believe in a little bit of everything, and it's not to say if I don't want a cookie, I'm not going to have one. But I think you want something clean that gives you energy to fuel you through your day, and something that tastes good, so that you don't just eat that protein bar that's sitting on the shelf for a year with preservatives and soy that you didn't read the back of. Just something that you can enjoy and that meets the right nutritional needs for you.
Do you consider how things feel in the mouth, how someone's going to digest it when you're making your products?
Oh, absolutely. That's why we have, nut-free options. Sugar is bad, and over the years, everything's different. Years ago, fat was bad, and then, all these different ingredients, but sugar really is not good for people, and preservatives are not good and clean. And I think that what we found is a lot of people are, especially during COVID, learning to buy things in the refrigerated section or the frozen section. They're looking for cleaner products, and our customer reads the ingredients. Our customer looks at the back, and they care, and they ask a lot of questions, and that's helping us make our product even better, trying to satisfy the customer.
Yeah, I want to close with saying one thing to you and noting this. There's a million conventions in Las Vegas where businesses network and meet that are gigantic here. Look at the convention schedule in Las Vegas. You should come here. We would love to see you. I've been to these conventions. It's like 3 football stadiums, literally, of just different businesses and different categories and sections. And the big dogs from all these corporations, they come, they look for store placements, all kinds of things. But there's ways to make more relationships, and you should absolutely come, and hope to see you soon here in Las Vegas. Rob, any final thoughts and conclusions for Lori's story today, or anything you want to add or ask?
No, I think that, Chris, that's a great point about Vegas. And Lori, you should definitely talk to Dave Meltzer about that and connect.
It's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely.
What Chris just talked about, because he's right. That's where all businesses, they're not born, but that's after they're born where they accelerate mightily. All the people there are there to take it to a level that you've never seen before.
Okay, yeah. I love that idea. I think that's great.
I mean, you're in an airport. I mean, you could be in some of these Las Vegas resort gift shops in these food sections. It's unbelievable. People are looking for varieties when you got 40 plus million people coming here yearly. So we're going to close with that. I want to thank Lori one more time. Tell us about your company.
We are a plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, delicious, and also have some nut-free flavors that satisfy your sweet tooth, make you feel good about eating, fuel you through your day, and give back to breast cancer research.
And again, the name of the company is Scott's Protein Balls. So for Lori Levine and CYInterview sponsor Rob Gill, thank you both for being on CYInterview today. If you like this video, please subscribe and let us know what you think. Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Chris.